Hey guys, it's Kay from KS Anonymous, and I am back today with another episode of r/AITA, or r/AmITheA. AITA for going to brunch once a month with my friends and not inviting my husband. I have two best friends. The three of us moved from KC to Phoenix for work, and we've become really close as a result. We all worked the same job and sat next to each other. We were inseparable. After 2 years of living here, we have all moved to different jobs and we see each other less. So last month, we decided to go to Sunday brunch once a month so that we could legit catch up. My husband is upset that we don't invite him, and I don't stand up for him to make sure he is invited. My husband doesn't like that we gossip about work and other BS. He also tried to interject a lot when the others were telling stories. My friends have never even offered to invite him, and it's because they feel like they can't talk freely in front of him about the usual girl stuff. My husband is upset because the only full day we get off together is Sunday. One Sunday a month, I am now spending roughly 3 to 6 hours with my friends depending on our plans. I spend every evening and 3 Sundays a month with him, and we go on at least a 4+ day trip a month together a month. It sucks that I can't just hang out with my friends once a month without him being crappy about it. Yeah, so in my opinion, he's probably really the a-hole in this situation. He can go do something that Sunday with his friends or something. To have to be present where she is with her friends all the time, that's just weird and kind of controlling. So I would say, personally, I don't think you're the a-hole, and I kind of think your husband is. Throwaway. So, me and this girl had been dating for 7 months. Last week, I decided to message her and see if she wanted to go out for dinner, as we had not done that in a week or two. I got no reply, so assumed it was a no. I got no message back for 3 days. I had been messaging her on everything. I got worried and decided to do a quick drive by her house. No mail had been collected for the past few days. I then decided to message one of their friends. This friend had also not seen her. So I called the police and reported her missing. Turns out she had been doing a uni assessment with a friend and turned her phone off. I'm now without a girlfriend as she broke up with me, and she has been calling me a mega a-hole. AITA for calling the police on my girlfriend? Assuming that this is the way that OP said it is, I think this is a really strange situation. I don't know many people who do not talk to anyone for several days on their phone, in other messages. What was he supposed to do? I mean, if she was missing, that would have been incredibly irresponsible for him to just be like, oh well, hope she's not dead or kidnapped or something. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I don't think he's the a-hole in the situation. She kind of is one for not letting him know, like, hey, I'm okay, I just don't want to talk, or I'm busy, all that sort of thing. We are both in our late 20s. We had almost 40,000 saved, and he gambled it all away. It was a major addiction for him. We are now broke, and he is $20,000 in debt. I have no car, no money. I haven't even bought my own body wash in 2 years because he forces me to go cheap and use his. Last month, I started couponing. I've gotten a few free items here and there, and have cut our grocery bills down at least 20%. It's not much, but it's a start. He's very angry with me about it. He says I spend too much time couponing. I spend an hour a day looking for the best coupons and deals online. He says he would rather us just pay full price so I don't waste so much time couponing. But when it comes down to it, he refuses to buy what I need anyways. If I want my own skincare or hair care products, he says no. He keeps my paycheck every month and puts it towards his gambling debt. He says that it's fair because he's the one that's paid for all of our food and gas the past 2 years. I told him, I'm a girl, dang it! I haven't bought anything for myself in over 2 years. This is the only way I can afford things for myself. Don't take that from me. Last night, he threatened to take the printer from me and hide it so I can't print any more coupons. Why would he not be okay with this? It was his gambling that got us into this mess. All I'm trying to do is pick up the pieces and start saving money. I haven't bought myself 1 lotion, 1 shower gel, 1 piece of makeup in almost 2 years. I want to feel like a woman again. I grew up poor as heck, but even growing up, I could afford to get myself a product or 2 here and there. I never thought that at 27, I would be in a lonely new city with no car, no friends, be in debt, and not able to even buy 1 dang thing for myself in 2 years. I'm so depressed. AITA for this? Info. Why are you staying? For the record, you don't have to give him your paycheck. classic abuser move. You can go to the bank and open a new account and have your check deposited there. My paycheck is addressed to him, it is direct deposited to him, and it is under his name. The reason is because he works freelance as a video editor online, and I am also very good at video editing, so whenever he is assigned a project, we split the projects down the middle. I do one, he does one, etc. So whatever I make goes to him anyways, and he always just keeps it. He used to give me $200 to $500 a month from what I made, but he hasn't given me any money in 6 months. Except when I go grocery shopping twice a month and he gives me $100 each time. Everything I've worked on, he keeps the income from it and puts it toward his debt. I want to get a job outside of the house because I'm lonely, but I didn't go to college and I dropped out of high school, and he says it would be embarrassing for me to work a minimum wage job at my age, so he absolutely refuses. I applied to work at a casino in our city last year and he blew up on me. He won't let me work outside of the house. He says he would support my decisions to go back to community college, but he will not have me working outside the house because it's embarrassing because it would be a low-paying job. You need to talk to HR and get your direct deposit back going into your account. He's financially abusing you. There's absolutely no reason, business or otherwise, why your work check should be going to anybody but you. This crap honestly sounds like slavery. Info. Are you in the US? There is no HR. We are freelance video editors. He assigns me projects to work on and I work on them. All of my work comes through him. He is my boss in that way. Except he's not writing me checks like he should be. It's like, imagine if you owned a franchise restaurant and your wife works with you all day at the restaurant. Now imagine that you're not paying her. That franchise doesn't care. They figure it's between the two of you to sort out. There's no way I can get my money from him unless I sued him or something, but I don't want to do that. I either want him to pay up or I will leave. I'm sick of this. He hasn't given me any money in over 6 months and my bank account is $0. So I included some of those info requests to help clear up exactly what the situation was because I was also curious about more information, so really glad that those people asked and that she answered. In my opinion, and what appears to be many of the commenters' opinions, she is definitely being abused in a financial way, and he's using finances as a way to make her do what he wants her to do and to control her and to basically keep her at the house and not really able to expand and go out on her own. And I do not think she's an a-hole for couponing. He's probably mad that it takes time because it would take time away from her video editing, but he's not paying her for it. And that's his debt. From this, I have not seen her say that they're married, and some people have said your boyfriend and she didn't correct them. There is absolutely no world in where I would share a bank account with someone I am not married to, and I don't understand how they had $40,000 together in the bank and he managed to get them $20,000 in debt with nothing in the bank, and that he thinks that he can put any money they make towards his debt. That's his problem. To OP, get out of there and get out of there fast. I don't care if he gives you any money in the future at all. Just get out of there. My sister is 16 and I'm 24. We have conservative parents who discouraged us from drinking or doing anything that would shame the family, etc. I moved out as soon as I could and have done a decent job of distancing myself relatively from my parents. My job requires me to work long days, so my sleep is really important to me, and my sister knows this. Last night, around 2 a.m., I get a call from my sister, and she says that she snuck out of the house and she's really drunk and at a party with a bunch of older people, and she needs me to come pick her up, and she gave me the address, which is about 45 minutes away. I worked this morning at 5 a.m., so there was no way I was getting up and picking her up and losing sleep. I told her that she should take responsibility and call her parents to come pick her up. She started pleading with me and crying and begging me to come get her, but I told her to call either mom or dad. She kept yelling, so I just hung up on her. I called my parents and told them where she was and she needed them to come get her. I didn't think about it again and I fell back asleep. On my break this morning, I get a call from my parents saying that my sister is grounded and had her phone taken away from her. They thanked me for calling them. I was talking to my coworker and she said that I was being a little harsh and that I should have gone to get her just this once to make sure she was safe. I responded that I called my parents to pick her up and it wasn't my responsibility to bail her out of a party. I've gotten other opinions that have kind of made it seem as though I was the a-hole, but I think I did the right thing. That said, AITA? Now, a lot of people had pretty mixed responses to this, so let me give my thoughts here. This girl is underage. In the US, the drinking age is 21 legally. I don't know where they're located, but I think in most other places it's 21 or 18. I think some countries are 16, but I kind of highly doubt that this is in a country where she's legally drinking, because I don't think she would have been so panicked. So I'm just going to assume that she is underage drinking at a party. And that is just a very, very dangerous situation to be putting herself in. Yes, it's illegal. I think it's very dangerous. I don't think it was wise of her to make that decision. And I don't think it's her siblings' responsibility to come bail her out. I mean, I'm glad she didn't try to drive drunk, but I don't know how she got there in the first place, if she drove or what she did. But unfortunately, like, what is OP really supposed to do? And if OP did pick up sister this one time, who's to say that sister isn't going to do it again and keep expecting OP to bail her out? So in that respect, I don't think that the OP is the a-hole here. However, I do believe that probably made the sister upset and maybe feel like they couldn't trust OP as much. But it's still on the sister for doing that, and she's going to have to face the consequences. My stepson is going through a typical teenage attitude phase. He's 14 and has decided that he no longer needs to follow the long-standing custody visitation schedule. His mom lives near us, so making changes to the schedule isn't all that difficult, but his capriciousness about it has made things very challenging. He'll say he wants to be at our house, then change his mind last minute, and vice versa, so making any real plans is next to impossible. I do all the shopping, I buy all the groceries. I've always made sure to keep a variety of things that everyone likes on hand. Favorite fruits, preferred type of peanut butter, snacks, etc. But lately, food has been going to waste because he changes plans so often. For instance, he likes a specific type of milk. The last 2 times I've bought it in anticipation of him being with us, it's spoiled since he flip-flopped the schedule last minute. I estimate I've thrown away about $100 worth of groceries in the past month due to this. So I stopped buying those one-person groceries. He came over, last minute change, last night. We had to order in dinner because I wasn't planning on cooking. Since I didn't know he was going to be here, I didn't take anything out to thaw or prep. This morning, there was a huge row because we didn't have milk or his usual bagels. We had the type his dad and I eat, but he doesn't like those. I told him I didn't buy any because I had no idea if he was going to be here or not. He got angry at that and texted his mom, who then called his dad, my husband, and told him that I was making son unwelcome by refusing to have the food he likes in the house. To my shock, my husband seems to agree with her. He said I should just plan on him being there since this is his house also. Yes, of course it is. And if the food goes bad, then so be it. I said that I'd be perfectly okay keeping the food for him stocked if I knew he was going to stick with the schedule he had and not constantly make last-minute changes. I'm not a housekeeper or a paid cook. I love having him here, but the complete inability to make any plans at all is just too much. AITA for wanting some consistency in a schedule and for being unwilling to waste food and money on non-stop last-minute changes. That is a frustrating situation. I don't think she should have to always be kind of at her stepson's whim. And I think it's kind of him showing his family a little bit of disrespect in that matter. However, I do know that when I was, a teenager and everything, maybe I'd make last minute plans with my friends and want to hang out with them. And for that case, maybe I wouldn't be home on the weekend or something. So I can understand that as well. But with that kind of situation, what is she supposed to do? In the comments below, she also mentioned she does keep the dry goods for him stocked, but she's worried about the perishables. I don't know. I don't think she's an a-hole, but I don't know what the right thing to do is, because the dad is saying that he's not bothered by the amount of money that's getting wasted. Of course, people who don't actually pay for the groceries can say that a little easier than the person who actually does pay for the groceries. I definitely don't think that she should be expected to cook for the son. If he's old enough to be deciding he wants to flip all the schedules around and mess around and do whatever he wants, Then he can make his own food if he needs to, if that makes sense. Anyway, I don't know. I'm really interested in your guys' thoughts on this one in particular. Me, 50s male. My daughter, 32 female. My son, 27 male. I love my kids equally. My daughter lives at home rent-free, which has allowed her to pursue her passion. We don't charge her rent, and so she's built up a good deal of savings, around $50,000. My son is a bit more aimless. He has a college degree, but he and his girlfriend have chosen to pursue a more nomadic lifestyle. He supports them, girlfriend doesn't work, and does odd jobs and gigs. They have lived in Airbnbs for 2 years until about a month ago. Last week, my son came to me to speak in private. Apparently, they have been living off of credit cards, and now my son owes about $30,000. There's no way he'll be able to pay that off on his current job. He has moved back in and is looking for more steady work, but it's going slowly as he has little career history to speak of. Meanwhile, the creditors are calling constantly. The debt will inevitably grow with interest. My wife is pushing hard for son to file for bankruptcy to manage this. I don't want my son to file for bankruptcy. It would be a huge stain on his credit and make some jobs impossible to get. I believe my daughter should loan him the money out of her savings. When I pass, all my children will have is each other. They should learn how to rely on each other more. I told my daughter I think she should loan son the money. She got extremely angry and left to live with her mom. Her mom, my wife, and my daughter are all angry at me now. AITA? Oh boy. That you have to ask if you're an a-hole in this situation is kind of sad to me. Yes, I think you are the a-hole. Your daughter can do whatever she wants with her money. You don't get to dictate what she does. And your son sounds kind of like an idiot. He wants to go live a nomadic lifestyle, pick up odd jobs that can't support the lifestyle he wants, and his girlfriend who doesn't work. And he has, with his own knowledge, been racking up crazy credit card debt to be living this lifestyle. That's on him. He's the idiot who racked up that much debt. For her to have to give up her savings to bail him out because he's not going to be able to. He is not going to return that money. We all know that. So yeah, maybe she lived with you and was able to keep that money and whatever that she worked for. But the key here is that she worked for money and she decided to keep it. That is her money. She could have been like your son and decided she wanted to live that nomadic lifestyle. Or she could have lived with you and not had a job and not had savings. To me, this is just a really weird family dynamic. No offense to the daughter who is 32, why she's still living with her family is kind of weird, but okay. I don't know. Some people in other countries, this is really common, so maybe this is from another country, but in the US, I find it kind of weird that the 32-year-old daughter is still living with them. Of course, the son is in a bad spot, so he's come back to live with them. I get that. And while I understand you're concerned for them when you pass, I disagree with your sentiment that they should learn to rely on each other more. To me, it sounds like they need to learn personal responsibility a little more. This next story is actually a viewer-submitted story by Kate, and she says, "Hi there, I have a story that I want to get off my chest. I don't have Reddit, but I need somebody to rant to, regardless of whether you put it in a video. My birthday is coming up very soon, and it just so happens that it falls during the time of financial difficulty. I live with my parents and one brother. We are really tightening our belts, eating lots of rice and pasta. I helped my dad build the shed instead of hiring builders. I've had a couple of job opportunities, but I don't have a steady income. My family wants to treat me by taking me out to the movies or shopping or for a meal, and I have refused many times, even begging them. I know it sounds terrible, but to be honest, I'd like to sleep all day for my birthday. My family, especially my brother, wants me to do something. They don't realize that it would mean more to me to just let me stay in all day. My brother wants to see Detective Pikachu, and I'll admit it looks good. However, I don't want to go out and want to wait till it's out on Netflix or DVD. I have a sleep disorder called hypersomnia, which basically means I hate waking up in the morning, despise it, and get incredibly groggy, drowsy, and irritable in the day. I don't like to go out unless I have to, i.e. grocery shopping, job hunting, etc. I kind of feel like going out is more something they want than what I want. AITA? Now, I did respond to Kate myself, but I think that it would be nice for our community here to help out a fellow viewer and let her know what you guys think. So, do you think that Kate is the a-hole in this situation? My personal opinion is no. I think that she's right, that they kind of want to go celebrate maybe more than she does, and I don't think it's wrong for her to just want to sleep for a day and that just kind of be her birthday celebration, especially, you know, that she has hypersomnia. So thank you so much, Kate, for submitting this, and again, guys, let me know and let Kate know your thoughts in the comments below. We own a small house, only 2 decent bedrooms, and a small office that's about 15 by 10 feet. We can't move as we own, or we could, but it would be overkill. We have a 2-year-old who we usually play with in our living room, but I tire of cleaning up that room every few hours because it can get a little chaotic. My husband uses the office as a music room. He's got 4 guitars on the wall, a shelf of pedals, several speakers, a piano, etc. He takes it very seriously. So seriously, it's his only real hobby. He likes to work on his car and gardening and stuff, but music is his first love. I want to propose to him. We use the office as a playroom, but unfortunately this means the music stuff has to go. We have nowhere else to put his stuff as it does indeed take the room. This gives us our living room back and makes my life a little easier as we can sequester the mess in one spot, which doesn't see much traffic. But this is the only thing my husband is truly passionate about. Maybe he can compromise and keep one acoustic guitar, because you don't need any of the other stuff for it. Would I be the a-hole? I want to ask r/AITA before I make a sore mistake. If it changes anything, I'm a stay-at-home mom and my husband works as a bank manager. I used to be an accountant and I'm planning on going back to work when our daughter is 4 or 5 in school. She has some behavioral and play issues we're seeing an occupational therapist for, and she advised to avoid daycare until this is all resolved. I'm stuck as a stay-at-home mom even if I don't want to. Okay, so this one's kind of interesting to me because normally I'm in favor of, you know, people as adults maybe giving some leeway to providing the appropriate things for their children. However, in this case, in the information that she's provided, it really sounds like this man, her husband, is so passionate about music, and really what she's presenting as a problem is the constant cleanup behind her child. Now, believe me, I know that's annoying. My mom used to have an in-home daycare in our house, and our living room was basically their massive play area, and it was but at the same time, I do think as his wife, that would be kind of an awful thing to ask of him. And especially like, oh, you could just go down to an acoustic guitar. No. So in this one, I do think she's kind of a bit of an a-hole. And I really hope that she doesn't ask him to do that. I'm getting a major surgery done in about 3 weeks, and I was told there's a 60 to 80% chance it will kill me. It's 60% if I do all the things the surgeon told me to do to prepare for the surgery, take supplements, gain weight fast, lots of protein, and I'm following all the rules. So let's say my chances of dying are 60%. That's not great, but not too horrible. The thing is that I've had this exact surgery before and I came out just fine, so my family has no reason to think that this time will be any different, aside from the risk involved with any surgery. However, for reasons involving my medical condition, TM, this time the surgery is riskier. My family consists of my older brother, 28 male, who I, 27 male, live with, and my mom, 54 female, who lives on the other side of the country. My brother is very protective of me, and my mom still acts like I'm her little boy. The only reasons I could think of to tell them would be, 1, give them time to prepare for the possibility of my death, but I don't think this is something they can prepare for. I'm sure they'd just be miserable for the time leading up to the surgery. I don't want that. 2, give us all a chance to make happy memories before the surgery. Again, I don't think that can happen when we'd only be doing it because I might die soon. I would feel forced and desperate, and they would only be pretending to not be miserable, and I'd be unhappy because I would know they're miserable. I'm leaning towards ignorance is bliss for everyone involved. If I survive, no harm done, and all that potential misery would be for nothing. If I die, well, that's a risk of any surgery, and their final moments with me wouldn't have had that misery. And with my medical condition TM, it's unlikely I'd make it to retirement age anyway. But is it right for me to hide something this big, even if it's to spare them pain? What are your thoughts? Edit. The surgery is 100% necessary. I will die without it, but it would take maybe a year or so and be very unpleasant. Edit 2. I've already gone over how I'd want my body dealt with the last time I had surgery, donated to science or cremated if science doesn't want it. I have no debts and my brother knows about all my bank accounts. Edit 3. I will write letters to them. Edit 4. Maybe I wasn't very clear about this because a few people have commented about it. I'm not hiding the surgery itself from my family, just how risky it is. They're going to come see me off and will say our I love yous and good lucks at the hospital. Edit number 5. I already have an advanced medical directive from the last time I had this surgery. And yes, I promise to post an update if I survive. You're all very sweet for wishing me well. It turns out Reddit isn't as scary as I feared. I just joined and this is my first post. Thanks to everyone who responded with their thoughts. I honestly don't know what I want anymore. There seems to be no good answer, and spending the last 4 hours reading what everyone has said and thinking about my upcoming surgery has left me feeling pretty drained. I'm going to take a break and recharge. Edit 7. Okay, I'm feeling very overwhelmed here. I was only expecting to get like 10 comments, maybe 20 at the most. Now there's nearly 400 comments. I wrote this post feeling pretty confident of my decision, but I wanted to see if anyone out there had a different perspective, another point of view that I hadn't considered. After reading over 100 of these comments, I don't know what I should do anymore. I'm feeling guilty for hiding this, but I can't see what the right thing to do is. There probably isn't a right thing to do. So many of you have shared their stories and experiences with the death of a loved one. I'm truly sorry you had to go through that, and I appreciate your perspectives. I'm going to revisit this in the morning and look at it with fresh eyes. P.S. To all the people who are setting reminders for 3 weeks, a bit morbid, but I understand. You should make it for 4 weeks. If I survive, I'll need time to recover and get out of the ICU before I come back to Reddit. So, first of all, I don't think that he is an a-hole for not wanting to tell them. I definitely see where he's coming from. However, if he does die and they find out that he knew that it was a very high chance that he could die, I would be distraught. I think I would want to be able to turn back time and say all the things I ever wanted to say because the risk was that great. I wouldn't want to have to wait till he was in the grave or cremated or being looked at in a science lab to be able to say what I wanted to say, you know what I mean? But at the same time, he's right that they would probably all be miserable and worried. And who knows, you know, he could be, you know, just fine. There's a 40% chance that he'll be just fine. And that's what I'm personally going to hope for. Just a reminder to everyone that the links to these stories are included in the description, so if you stumble across this video and it's been 4 weeks from now or around there, you know, feel free to check out, see what happened. Hopefully you'll see a response and not just nothing, because that'd be really sad. Anyway, I think that is actually going to end today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Go ahead and drop a like if you did, and let me know if you think these people are the a-holes in these situations in the comments below, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye!